The packing has officially begun. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a moving vlog. It has been a while since I've done one of these actually. I think I haven't really done one since Paris, to be honest, and I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Quite frankly, I get stressed. I think we all do when we move. And when I get stressed, I don't want to film. But I actually thought that maybe if I recorded some stuff, it would keep me a little bit more level because I would be thinking about editing and I would be thinking about how to put my vlog together and stuff. And maybe actually that will keep me a little bit chiller. So that is the theory going into this and we will see. As you can see, the bookshelves are almost completely empty. The only thing is I have the two little tubs or whatever you would call those down there, but everything has been loaded into these boxes. And because as someone who watches a lot of like moving and organizing sorts of vlogs, I love a good time lapse. I have filmed you a time lapse of almost all of my work on this bookshelf. I didn't start it at the beginning. I did start packing stuff before I realized this would make a good time lapse. So here you go.
Where's your brother? Where's your brother? Where'd he go?
As satisfying as all of that was, especially because this is like one of our favorite parts of the entire apartment, of everything that we own as book nerds, but it is just the very beginning. I will show you very briefly the mess that is behind me. We did try to put off actually packing stuff into boxes until this last week, because when we moved from New York to Canada, we started quite early, which was good in some ways because we got a head start. We got to think about how many boxes we needed and how much space and stuff, but it did mean that we were living in boxes for a very long time. And as you can see, this takes up space and it is not nearly as nice, obviously, as having the books on the bookshelf and the boxes like folded in a closet. So we're starting to unfold them now. We're going to be living in boxes for about a week, but that is okay. It's not super long, and honestly, this week is gonna fly by. I can already tell. Bookshelf is gone. Somehow this makes it the most real out of every step that we've had so far. So we are now 2 days away from getting the keys to the new place, and then the morning after we have movers coming. So we have to have everything boxed up and ready to go. Furniture taken down, you know, the things that need to be taken apart. We do have a farewell for one of our friends tomorrow because she's leaving the city. So we have to try and do as much as possible. My husband is working from home. I have submitted my last freelance task for this week. So in theory, unless I get some edits to do on that project, hopefully I can just focus on moving at this point for the next couple of days. The living room is pretty much as done as it can be, and I'm gonna move to the kitchen. I'm just gonna raise you a little bit taller than I realized. Living in the Netherlands has made me feel very short all the time. How tall do you think I am? That's a good question because people often get this wrong, including myself. For people that I watch. Anyway, I'm here in the kitchen, the very echoey kitchen. I'm gonna get the mugs out. I think I'm just gonna get them all out first and then wrap them one by one because I think it'll just make the process a little bit more streamlined in my brain anyway. I'm kind of losing my mind though. I have been packing for a long time today, so. This goes to recycling.
T'es prêt, Annette?
C'est parti. This is one of my all-time favorites and it's also one of my oldest ones. These were the mugs that I bought when we still had our stuff in shipment from Canada to the Netherlands. These will be, once again, our in-between mugs, and we will use them for the next 2 days. I've got it. I have still quite a bit of space in the box. I do have this one, which is not a drinking mug, but I did run it through the dishwasher. But I'll wrap that and put that in there as well. And I think I'm gonna go on to other types of cups. These cabinets do seriously make me feel short though. I'll give you a hint. I am above average height for women in the US. I am above average height for women in France as well. But I am below average height for women in the Netherlands. It's a new feeling for me, and I don't like it. I'm definitely gonna hit my head on this if I leave it open, but I'll take my chances. So I don't think that the wine glasses are gonna fit because the only way they would fit in this box is if I lay them down, and that is a recipe for breaking them. I think the best way to store them would be upright. The pressure like that is much less likely to break them. That is my timer to get the dryer because I have last loads of laundry going as well. There's a lot going on. I still have a little hole there that one more glass would fit in, but we don't have one more glass. I think I got all the glasses in there already. So I'm trying to find something that is glass shaped and glass sized that I can put in there. Otherwise it's gonna drive me crazy and also jeopardizes the entire integrity of the packing that I've been doing. This is too tall. I could put it in the corner though. This is how we're looking right now. So as you can see, height problem here, but I think it works. And everything else is nice and snug, I think. My husband has run to the store to pick up a couple of things, and I will wait until he gets home and then ask him what he thinks would go well in that remaining space of the box, because my brain is done with packing decisions. I've been working at this for so many hours. He has been in the other room working on the desk, which is another whole story. And as you can see, Hamlet is being very helpful and supportive. You're a good boy. Oh my God, we have moved. I have missed a huge chunk of the move in this moving vlog. In fact, I've missed the moving part of this moving vlog, like the actual part where we left the old apartment and went to this apartment. But I will just do a little recap for you. It was stressful. It was super stressful. A lot more than I anticipated, even though I knew it was gonna be stressful, and really nothing went completely wrong. There were a few things about like the actual moving day and stuff that I guess didn't go to plan and could have gone a little bit better, but overall nothing was catastrophic. But it felt a little bit catastrophic in more than one moment, so I didn't get my camera out. As you can see, this background is different. We are officially in the new apartment, but as you cannot see, we're not fully moved in yet. There's still quite a bit left. Basically, we've been here for 2 days, give or take, counting the first day when we were actually moving in, and the movers didn't leave until after midday. I think it was like 1 or 2, maybe. No, it was 3 in the afternoon. But nothing broke until I broke something. When I was putting everything away in the kitchen, which I'm just so happy with our kitchen. That's one of my favorite parts of the entire apartment. But I did all the glassware and the cups and stuff. Everything looked brilliant. And then we decided to pop a bottle of bubbly to celebrate our half-dead states and all of the stuff that we gotten done that day. And when I went for the wine glasses, I knocked over a stack of shot glasses and I broke one of our shot glasses. So that was, you know, typically me, I guess. But it wasn't technically the move that caused the break, it was just me. So the day before the movers came, we were packing still up until like the early hours of that morning. We got a really late night, and then we got up super early. The movers arrived. There were a few little hiccups and stuff. Parking in The Hague is never fun. Stairs in The Hague are also not very fun, so that slowed the move quite a bit. But we finally got all the stuff to the place. Nothing broke, as I mentioned. We were drowning in boxes. The cats were quite stressed. It did become a little bit more stressful for them than we had hoped. It definitely has taken them a couple days, and they're still kind of getting used to the new sounds and I'm sure smells and stuff in this new place, but they've adjusted really well so far. Anyway, we spent the rest of that first day unboxing, trying to put stuff together, trying to kind of make this place start to feel a little bit more homey. Of course, the priorities were the bed to sleep on that evening, some of the stuff in the kitchen so that we could make dinner and stuff like that. Did we end up ordering in? I think I actually went to the store and got some like, you know, veggies and dips and stuff because we were just so out of whack. That's another thing about moving as well, is just you are doing stuff in a completely out of routine way. You're missing meal times, but then maybe snacking a little bit. Of course, I was having coffee and stuff. I was buying like, to-go coffees and things that I normally don't do to that extent. And it was just completely just messed up our routines. So it's been a mess as far as routine, as far as sleeping, as far as diet, like everything has been completely abnormal. And that will definitely throw off your entire like body rhythm and energy levels and everything. Not to mention the fact that we are, running back and forth and hauling boxes and hauling furniture and putting stuff away and discovering things in the new apartment and trying to figure out where everything's going, making so many decisions. I have huge decision fatigue right now and I'm not even done. Then the second day, we not only had a lot more to do in this apartment, but then we went back to the old apartment and did a thorough clean of everything. As if we didn't have enough stress in our life, we also decided that evening to have some friends over. So we officially had a little housewarming, even though we have not fully moved in by far. The reason we did it so quickly was mostly because one of our friends in that friend group is moving and it was her last day in The Hague. We really wanted to do something before she left. So we ended up organizing a little housewarming and it was so much fun. It was definitely stressful. We were really trying to get as much together as possible. And I will show you in just a second, we have not fully gotten a lot of the rooms together. I say a lot of the rooms as if we have multiple ones, but it is a 2-bedroom. So we have a bedroom and an office space and both of those are in kind of rough shape, but we really focused on the main room and the kitchen, the dining area and stuff like that, just to make sure that we had places to invite our friends and places for our friends to sit and to eat and to drink. So that came together really, really nicely, but the move is far from over. So I have just gotten back from running some errands. I ran to the store because we were hopelessly low on certain things like fruit. We really want fruit. And I also had to go a little bit out of the way to run to a hardware store because our washer dryer, the connection pipe is different here than the one at our old place. And being in the midst of a move means that the laundry has stacked up. I haven't been able to do laundry for almost a week and normally that would be perfectly fine, but because we have like use different towels and cleaning stuff and everything. Like it's just stacked up. I have so much laundry to do and I wasn't able to do it right when we moved in because this pipe was not working. So I had to go to a hardware store, which is not my comfort zone, but I found what I was looking for. And I also picked up, I should show you guys this. So I looked a little bit at the paint samples. I will talk about this more probably in a future vlog. We have never painted before. Some of the places that we've lived have allowed you to paint walls, some of the places have not, but even the places that have allowed it, we have never really, I guess, felt settled enough to commit to painting a wall, but we're gonna do it in this place. We are going to paint an accent wall, or at least that's the plan. I'm probably equal parts nervous about it and also excited about it. I am really, really excited to have a pop of color on the walls. It's also really scary. I'm not sure I trust myself with a paintbrush, but I'm sure I will do it with my husband. Neither of us will really know what we're doing, but we will figure it out, I'm sure, together. So it's gonna be really fun. So I will show you actually the paint samples that I grabbed. Okay, so there are a couple wild cards in here that are not actual considerations for the wall. I have to show you. It's September right now, so I had to grab something pumpkin-y. It's called pumpkin spice. It's beautiful. There's absolutely no way this is gonna be the color that we paint on a wall, but it's beautiful. Like if I could find something to paint this. Then of course, because it's me, I had to look a little bit at the purples and I thought this one was gorgeous. Again, very unlikely to be painting, well, we're completely unlikely to be painting pumpkin spice on the walls. We're almost as unlikely to be painting purple just because I think it's a little bit too risky. Kind of along the same lines, I did grab a couple that are kind of bluey purple. We have talked about blue as a potential candidate, but we're not quite sure. We don't want to do something that's like sea blue or ocean blue or anything like that. It just feels a little bit too, I don't know, with The Hague being a, coastal sort of city, it feels a little bit too much like we're theming our apartment on our city. But I did decide to grab just a couple that were a little bit blue purple. So this one is a little bit more purple than blue, I think. And then this one is a little bit more on the blue side. I don't really know actually if you can tell too much on this photo. And I'm sorry if my nails and my fingers and stuff are horrible. I have been cleaning so much and the cleaning product and washing my hands constantly and stuff. My hands are not in a good state. And then I went to the greens. So I think green is probably the most likely. It's the one that I think we both like the most and we also agree on the most shades together. So these are the two darker ones. Vintage jade, soft jade. Vintage is definitely more kind of foresty, I guess. And this one has a bit of a cooler tone to it. I don't know if we're gonna do a darker green. I think we both tend to prefer lighter greens. Then the next two are a little bit lighter, but still, I would say kind of rich colors. I hope you can tell with the sun glinting off of it. So this one is called Lakeshore. It has a bit of a bluey touch as well, I think. And this is called Eucalyptus Leaf, and that's definitely like green green. Then we had the lighter colors, which is kind of the same theme that I grabbed. So I grabbed Sage Green and Pale Sage. So these are both sage themed. But again, the Pale Sage has a little bit more blue tones in it. It's still, very much green, but just a little bit more on the blue side of the scale. And then this one I would say is just a classic sage green. I would say at this stage, that's probably the most likely one. And looking at them right now, it is the one that I'm drawn to the most. It is the one that I like the most. I would say this darker one, the eucalyptus leaf, compared to the sage, these are kind of nice. They have similar tones, but obviously just eucalyptus is much darker. Well, much darker. It's a little bit darker. I'll get my partner's input and see what he's thinking and see what he's drawn to. And I'm sure he'll eliminate at least a couple of these. And I will definitely keep you updated on that. A painting adventure, something we have never done before. I think it is time to come clean and show you what we have not done yet in this apartment. So coming into the bedroom, we have an absolute nightmare wreck of piles here. When we moved stuff, some stuff in boxes, some clothes, and then we also filled our suitcases. So we packed a lot of our clothes in suitcases. The reason that we have not unpacked any of this stuff is because I have mentioned this, I mentioned in my decluttering video, we were storing a lot of our stuff on hangers at the last place, but we ended up deciding that we're going to get a dresser and also a new sort of wardrobe that is a closed hanging space with doors. So until then, we have installed one of the hanging racks for stuff that absolutely needs to be hung, but the rest of the stuff is just in suitcases. And the real mess is in the office. This is the state of the office. I am so excited to have an office again. We had one in Montreal. We had a small 2-bedroom. This one was also a small 2-bedroom, and the last place was a 1-bedroom, but the 1-bedroom was very big, so we had kind of combined bedroom and office, and that just didn't work. It just, I mean, it works if you have to, like we did in that situation, we had to, but now we are going to actually be able to have a dedicated working space with our computers, with Megadesk, as I have talked about before. We love Megadesk, and we can have our bookshelves here on the other side so that they're actually on theme. It's in our, gaming room, our office room, our work room, but it is going to take some time because all the books and, some of the games and stuff that are missing from the other room are in these boxes. Not a lot left compared to what we started with, but definitely a lot to do still. By far the worst part of all of this is the cable collection, which we will cable manage and we will organize and make a lot neater. But for the moment, we still have to kind of cable up all of our devices and all of that. So I'm not sure how many of these cables will be actually employed very soon and how many will be stored. But yeah, this is always the messy part of all of this. With all of that said, I do think I'm gonna wrap up the moving vlog here. It has been so much fun to take you through this process. I am sorry that I didn't actually film anything of the physical move. I really did want to, I don't know, show the other apartment as it was slowly being rid of boxes or something, and the boxes just shrink. That would have made such a nice little sort of montage. It would have been amazing, but you can't really, plan for some of these things. I was just not in a good headspace and a good physical state to be recording. And my goodness, I wanted to record when we first got here and we're going through our boxes and putting together the very first things, but we looked terrible. We were just so ready to have the crap out of the boxes, to have the boxes out of the apartment, and to have a somewhat sort of normal living space. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed me taking you along with at least part of the moving process. And there is still more to go, like I said, so I'm sure there'll be future vlogs with different things that we do in this space to make it more and more our own. We've moved so many times now that that's starting to sound a little cliche, but I swear to God, it is so true every single time. And this time I think we are ready to kind of settle a little bit more and stay here for a little bit longer. So thus things like, painting an accent wall and catering, to the space a little bit more. Just letting ourselves relax a little bit in the place and not planning for the next move. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you know what to do. You've watched enough YouTube by now. Give it a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the vlog, the moving process. If you have any funny, this is Hamlet's tale, by the way. If you have any funny or interesting stories about a move, let me know in the comments below. And I will talk to you very, very soon, I'm sure, in another video.
Do you like your new home?